What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another podcast. I hope everybody's doing really well. In today's podcast, we're talking about how you're training hard, you're hitting the gym constantly, sweating your ass off, but the scale is not moving. Your physique looks the same, and you're thinking, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Listen, I get it. It's frustrating. But I promise there's a reason why. And today, I'm breaking down exactly why you're stuck and how you can actually fix it. So here are the top 5 reasons you're not seeing results. Reason number 1, you're not actually in a calorie deficit. People think they eat clean, but they still overconsume calories. Not even just on a daily basis, but on a weekly basis. Going out on the weekends and having those couple of extra drinks, even if it's 5 to 10, adds up in calories, big time. Having that burger late at night, just because it's past 2 a.m. doesn't mean that it doesn't count. It counts, trust me. So those random times where you have extra calories where they're just not accounted for, or maybe you're just forgetting them, is you slacking and just being a pain in your own ass. Because that's slowing down your results. And honestly, like, you have to fucking stop that if you actually want to see results. Like, people struggle all the time. I see it all the time. And it's like they don't account for like these little moments in time because they let themselves get away with it. And like, you have to fucking stop that if you want to see results. It's fucking annoying to me. Because, like, even if you're lifting heavy and doing all the cardio, it's not going to work unless you actually fucking take it seriously for once. Reason number 2, you're lifting, but you're not progressing, aka no progressive overload means no results. If you're using the same weight for the same reps again and again and again and again, if you were to look at it from a bird's eye view on a linear graph and you see yourself using the same weights over time, or maybe using less weights over time or whatever, and sometimes that has to happen with certain exercises, but, you know, to put it in perspective, with compound lifts, your numbers should be going up for the most part, you know, and little dips here and there if you're being walked through a training block properly, or walk through your training properly as like in general, because nobody should just be increasing their weights like literally every single week over time without any break or without coming back down or whatever. And that's how people injure themselves. So don't do that. But like in general, it's like you should be getting stronger over time, or at least the way that you're training, if the intensity is there and it's getting better and your fitness is improving and we can see that, then it's like you should be able to see the results physically. And if that's not happening, then it's not going to work. For example, if you take a newbie and they start to work out, they can't work out as intense as I can, but the goal is to get you to the point where you can work out, even if it's not as much as me, like as intense as I can, at least pretty intense, pretty methodical, you know, pretty intentional. And that's what gets results. Because your body adapts. If you're not increasing the weight, the reps, the intensity, you're maintaining and you're not fucking improving. So track your lifts and add your weights and reps every single week. And do not fucking stop. Reason number 3, you're doing too much random training. You have no program structure. I talk to this with people all the fucking time. You're jumping between different workouts, no real progress, following TikTok trends instead of sticking to a structured program. Instead, stick to a program for at least 8 to 12 weeks before changing it. I challenge you to do that. Let's see if your ADHD comes in the way before you make a change. Can you actually stick to this? You can't. It's actually a good practice mentally. Because if you can't, it just shows you how fucking wishy-washy you are. If you can't commit and stick to a workout routine for 8 to 12 weeks and not change it, unless you have to swap an exercise or sub it because it's, you know, the equipment's busy. I mean, try to wait for it, but like, geez. Like, you can't just stick to an 8 to 12 week program and just stay fucking consistent for once. Like, switching it up all the time is not going to allow you to see the progress that you need to progress. Because if you're just switching it up all the time, it's like, you know how we're trying to increase the intensity and we're trying to increase the weights with certain exercises, and we're trying to, so then that way you can build a physique. If you just change it up, you can't see that progress because you just switch to a different exercise. You know, if it's a completely different exercise or if it's something similar, it's okay. But like, you know, for the most part, if it's like a completely different workout routine, it's just gonna fuck the progress. Reason number 4, you're not recovering enough. Overtraining equals cortisol spikes equals no fat loss or muscle gain. If you're too fucking stressed, likely because you do it to yourself, Nancy. Likely because you fucking just don't know how to manage yourself like everybody else in this fucking world. Trust me, not pointing any fingers. It takes work. But, you know, if you're sabotaging yourself, you're told what's right, but then you go and do something else. You listen to other people because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but they think that they can butt in and like say something to get you to do something differently because they think that's right, even though they have no experience in the health and fitness industry or any other kind of industry. It doesn't matter what it is. But if you just change the plan, even though you were told to do, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Here's a good rule of thumb. Stick to things longer than you think that you need to. So then that way you can actually make a decision that's justifiable based on the progress that you've created over the course of the last 8 to 12 weeks. You can't do that in a week or 2 weeks. Don't be fucking stupid. Bad sleep, stress, poor recovery equals stalled progress. Fix 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Deload weeks where you do less every, 6 weeks? 4 to 6 weeks? Cool. All that stuff helps. Reason number 5, you expect results too fast. A lot of people think that 4 weeks is enough to see results, and it's not. It is not. Commit to a minimum of 3 to 6 months of consistent training, doing the right things for whatever the fuck your goal is, building muscle, building strength and building muscle, building strength and losing fat, like whatever it is. 3 to 6 months minimum. Commit to one plan and don't fucking stop. All right. Here are some key takeaways. Dial in nutrition first. Track your calories and adjust based on your real intake, and then also base it on your goals. You might need help with this. Just reach out to me if you need it. Follow progressive overload based on what I told you. Stick to one solid program like I told you. Prioritize recovery like I told you. Stay patient and track progress. The biggest thing that I see with people is they don't stick to these things. They have a hard time sticking to these things, and I understand why. But I'm just here to help you. Just be like, enough is enough. You got to stick to the fucking basics because that's all it is. Because if you've been grinding in the gym but not seeing changes, I promise you one of these 5 things is the reason. But now that you know what's holding you back, it's time to actually fix it. Drop me a message on Instagram if this resonated with you. And let's talk about what's keeping you stuck.